How's it going, guys? Football-ManagerYouthDevelopment.co.uk here. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at 6 bargains from the top French league, Ligue 1. The first player that we're going to be taking a look at on this list is Grosjean K. You can see here that the 20-year-old managed to finish 5th in the top goal scoring list in Ligue 1. He managed to get 17 goals in 29 starts, which was a pretty good return, to be honest. He actually had 46 shots. And yeah, so pretty good goal return off having 46 shots. He also got a goal every 129 minutes, which is pretty decent as well. If we take a look at his attributes, we can see here that for a 20-year-old, he's got pretty well developed attributes. Mainly his physical attributes are his main things, like his strength, and he's also got really good balance, pretty good pace as well. I reckon if you manage to get this guy maybe for about, I don't know, sort of 10-ish million, I reckon he'd do a good job in the Premier League anyway if you manage to get this guy. So yeah, he's the first player on our list that we're taking a look at. Next up on our list, we have a 22-year-old Belgium striker who plays for Marseille. I'm not going to pronounce his second name, so I'll just call him Mitchy for the sake of making this video. I do actually believe in real life that Tottenham are taking a look at this guy and he's actually performing really, really well. So in 30 starts for Marseille, he managed to bag himself 12 goals. Shot target percentage rating of 52%, which is really, really good. I have noticed here that his passing percentage rate is only 55%, so potentially that might be something that you do need to, try and improve in his game. I can see here that he is used as a poacher, so predominantly if that's how Marseille were using him, then that might be why his passing percentage is a little bit lower. But yeah, certainly in terms of his shot percentage rate, you can't really argue with 52%, which is really, really good. I do think he is going to be best as a poacher with his good pace and his acceleration. And at 22 years old, he does have really good off the ball attributes at 15. He does actually have really, really good first touch at 16 and good finishing and composure with both of them at 14. The next player that we're taking a look at is another player from Marseille. I reckon this guy would be pretty decent if you're managing a kind of mid-table Premier League club. He's certainly performing well in Ligue 1 anyway. So 26-year-old Nicolas Nicolai, he plays for Marseille, and this season he managed to get an average rating of 7.22 in 32 games. We can see here that although he did receive quite a lot of yellow cards, unfortunately, he's got really good passing rates, which is excellent. And really high tackling percentage per game as well. If we do have a look at his stats, we can see that he managed to win 85% of the tackles that he, went into, which of course is absolutely fantastic for, for a defender basically. Also, if we have a look at the amount of headers, so he won 92% of the headers that he went in for. So this guy, if you're looking for like a really, really strong kind of centre back, someone who's going to win a lot of tackles for you, be really, really dominant in the air and things like this, so then this guy could potentially do really, really well for you. Of course, he doesn't have very good jumping reach, but I reckon with his strength and his positioning and things like this as well, these are the type of things that are going to make him a really, really good centre back. Also, I've just actually noticed that Bayern Munich, based on his form for this season, he is actually moving to Bayern Munich on this game. So yeah, that just goes to show the calibre of player that we're looking at here. The next player on our list is defensive midfielder Nampalys Mendy. He plays for Nice and he's a Senegal international, 23 years old, and he's worth 6.5 million. We can see here that in 36 appearances, he managed to get 7 Man of the Match awards with an average rating of 7.29. The great thing about this guy is that he does make a hell of a lot of tackles, and his passing percentage completion rate is really, really high as well. He does have a preferred move of plays short, simple passes. So if you were looking for a really combative central defensive midfielder who just kind of plays simple passes, then this guy would be really, really good for your team. We can see here that he does have a work rate attribute of 18. He's got really, really good stamina and good acceleration as well. If we take a real quick look at his stats, we can see that he won 78% of the tackles that he went in for, with 34 of the tackles that he made being key ones. We can see here that he did make a lot of passes and he made 27 key passes and an 85% pass success ratio. So really, really good at his passing. I think this guy is going to kind of keep things pretty simple in the middle of the park, and certainly a really good player. 23 years old and only £6.5 million. Certainly worth a look at if you're playing in the Premier League or another league. The next player that we are checking out potentially might not be classed as a bargain, but he's certainly someone that's going to be worth checking out. So he's currently on loan from Atletico, playing for Olympic Lyonnais. So if we take a look at this guy, we can see here that he's pretty much in the same mould as like a kind of Mesut Ozil type player. We can see here that he's got really, really high technical attributes with passing 19, technique 18, vision 19. Really, really good anticipation, fantastic flair, good first touch, good dribbling skills. Potentially might need to improve a little bit on his kind of physical attributes. He's described as a flamboyant midfielder. He has a lot of preferred moves also, so he tries killer balls often. He likes to dictate the tempo, likes to switch the ball to the other flanks as well. So in 30 appearances, this guy managed to get 8 assists. His passing percentage rate wasn't particularly too high, but I reckon getting that many assists, it's a pretty much an assist every 3 games if you work it out roughly as an average, which is obviously really, really good. So I think this guy, depending on what happens when he goes back to his parent club Atletico, it's certainly going to be worth keeping an eye on this kid. Potentially if he did go back to Atletico and he didn't get too much game time, then potentially this kid will be certainly someone to keep an eye on. He's only 21 years old. He's valued at £7.5 million at the moment, but his wages are pretty cheap at only about 14 grand a week. So if you're like a Premier League club and you're looking for quite a decent young player, especially in the kind of attacking midfielder sort of Mesut Ozil type role, maybe you might be able to get this guy on loan in the second season. But certainly someone that's going to be worth keeping an eye on. So the last player that we're going to be checking out, this guy's a complete wild card, to be honest. Just been checking out his attributes and his kind of stats and things like that, and I'm pretty happy to recommend this guy. So he's valued at only £2.9 million. Guy called Andy Delort. So he's 24-year-old French guy. If we take a look at his kind of key attributes, we can see he's got a finishing of 15, pretty good at heading, really, really good technique, pretty high work rate, good determination, good bravery. He's got really good physical attributes as well, with strength of 15, good stamina, pretty good pace and acceleration and things like this as well. So we can see here that in terms of his kind of roles and duties, that he could be a complete forward, a target man, potentially a defensive forward as well. There's going to be quite a number of ways to try and use this guy. Obviously, he's a little bit of a wild card, but the reason I picked him out is because he did manage to score quite a few goals in League 1. His average rating wasn't particularly too high, but I think someone who scores that many goals in the league is going to be a pretty decent player. And it's only £2.9 million. I think that you could, if he's used in the right way, then I reckon you could probably do quite a lot with this guy if you kind of used him in the right way. Personally, if I was using this guy, I would want to be making the most out of his flair attribute and his good technique as well. So we can see here that he's got the runs with ball through centre attribute. We can see he did make a lot of dribbles, running with the ball and things like that, but I reckon that that's where you'll kind of make the most of this guy. Potentially you could kind of retrain him to be like an inside forward. That might be something to take a look at. Certainly his composure is not too high, but I think if you kind of used him in the right way, then he might be quite a good player to just take a look at. But at £2.9 million, then he could potentially be quite a good bargain for you. I'm going to call this the end of the episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, do please like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back very, very soon for some more Football Manager videos. Thanks for watching.